What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
We're here. We're live. Film hot takes. I just saw everybody in the other chat. Hopefully, some people will cross over and talk. I'm gonna put it in the chat. The StreamYard link. Doesn't mean I'll add you if you're gonna be questionable. But I would like to hear hot takes. I would like to debate. I would like to have a show where we just sit there and talk film. So, this is for film history, right? No, this is not film history. I think that's coming September. I think tonight was supposed to be the first night. Maybe tomorrow. Not really sure. But I sent the link. I don't know if that works. Tell me if that link works if you're going to join and talk shit. Like that'd be great. But yeah, a few hot takes I have off the top of my dome. Silent films aren't films. Been there, done that, said that a few times. Oh, what were few of my other ones? Jack Pinchuk doesn't know movies. Just movies, not trivia. No, you can come in and talk anything. You can talk anything you want, trivia or whatever. Have some debate. There are history out there that I will argue with you on if you want to talk about trivia. Oh man, I have so much. Oh, if you add color to a classic film, it raises it at least a star rating. Uh, we have technology out there, so why do we need to watch black and white? Boring. Um, I don't know. Oscars need to look into giving awards where people used to pay for Oscars. Like that should be a question. Like we should strip awards. Um, what else do I got? Kirk said he was going to be on too to give me some shit because he had one. Does the StreamYard link work? Does anybody know? Like, can anybody join and let me know if it's working? Did I pick one that's bad? Maybe I can just test it myself. What else we got? So listen to. Oh yeah, the StreamYard link definitely works. Definitely works. So join in, talk. This is your time to. I won't yell at you too much. I won't yell and debate with you too much. But yeah, let's talk about movies. Maybe the last movie you watched. Maybe recommend a movie to me. I'll tell you if I've seen it or if it's trash. Um, Red Sox are currently winning, but about to die. Um, oh, got one. Film hot takes. Welcome. What's your hot take?
I have a trivia one and I have a movie one. What would you prefer?
Perfect. Let's go. Which both? Hit me with both.
Trivia one I'm more passionate about. I think that the way that we used to do round 3, where we had like specific actors and directors and shit, was really fun. I think it'd be really fun to bring back, and I'm curious how the difficulty scaling would look with the 1, 2, 3, 4 pairings and everything. Because I feel like we never had people really hone in on it besides your faction called the First Order.
Yeah.
All y'all were doing were fucking up Zemeckis 4-pointers, and I feel like no one really like mined the possibilities of it. I want to see what happens.
Didn't Barr win his belts basically on Hepburn?
Yeah, and then Doc missing Wilder. Like I think we had it was a very top heavy thing where I think like certain people really leaned into specific categories, but so many of them went unused. And I'm curious if the drafting format, if people are gonna be like, yeah, let me master like 2 or 3 of these things, and wild shit happens, or even put them in round 2. Like, I'm trying to think of a match. Okay, so in Jake Meltzer versus Cameron Redshaw, when Meltzer was defending his title, Redshaw specifically drafted Jimmy Stewart as a round 2 category and used it in round 4 as like his Revenge of the Wheel slice. I think that's a really interesting strategy, and I think it's something that we should at least hear out the possibility of bringing back.
Yeah, that's interesting. How I think what was always decided, I think it was hard because one, two, threes, and fours. Now that it's one and two, three and four, you might be have a better handle on it. Um, but how you determine that list and how do you just create another like fuck you list to give somebody like because like when you drop like a Jimmy Stewart or you drop like a Hepburn or something like that in 2 weeks of a title in the match, you're not going to be able to get fully prepared for that. Plus, like, would that be their strength, or do they get that as just a category and then also a strength?
I think round two it would definitely have bigger issues, but I think round three it'd be easier to implement.
Mm.
Like I think a good example is I wanted to make Tom Cruise a strength. And
Sure.
then every time I've been in like a team situation or consulting in singles of like, should I use this? It's no, because he's only in massive movies. I think there are certain actors or directors who basically only work on that like A tier level where it's like kind of equal knowledge for everybody. I think there's a way that you're able to hand pick people where it's not as offensive of a move as it could be compared to like, and not a slanderization of anything. When Spike Lee was at it, Boatman was like, yeah, I'm going to master this because our league is mostly people who aren't going out of their way to watch Spike Lee and study his movies.
Fair.
And he became great at it and watched great movies. I think there are certain people that where you can like hand pick them as categories. It's going to kind of benefit everybody while also really benefiting that upper crust who are willing to bust their asses to really prep.
Slander. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I would love to see Payson for Phil to join and like raise your argument to this. But that's interesting. That's something we can definitely talk about in the offseason. I'm not 100% like shooting it down. I think it would be interesting. What's your film one?
Cars sucks.
The film?
The movie Cars is abhorrent. It is. I don't think objectionable is the right word, but I should not be held at gunpoint before Cameron Redshaw's wedding to have a bunch of drunk 22-year-olds forcing me to watch that piece of shit movie. It is awful. Everyone my age thinks it's one of the greatest things ever. Generation Alpha calls Cars 2 like one of the best Pixar movies. There is an epidemic of people who like talking cars, and they need to shut the fuck up. It is a problem.
What if it was a live action sports film? Would you like it more?
Boatman literally just watched Days of Thunder and was like, hey, actually, this is like kind of like Cars, if you think about it. No, I do not. I would take Paul Newman over Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall? Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not like a high mark when it's fucking Cars.
I think it's crazy. And I'm not, again, hot takes. I want to disagree, but I 100% agree with this Cars idea. Cars, there's a trauma response out there for the generation grew up with it. That this movie hugged them at night, that made them feel warm and felt them that they mattered. Um, it's bad. Like it is just it makes no sense that a group of cars that are vehicles would gather together to watch when their eyes run. Like
Dude,
they're paid to run.
$100 to watch fucking a track meet in person in Daytona. Like, yeah, I'm fucking excited to watch people just walk for an hour.
Who is this?
That's a really good question. I my first thought would be this one of Kirk's kids, but I don't think so.
I don't think it's bad. No, no, that's the thing. We don't. Eric, oh, good. Okay. That we don't though, Coho. We don't. If you go to a track and field event, no one's standing in the stands except if it's the Olympics. It's the only thing that matters. These are people that we're in the belief that people are doing this. You're showing this as like a NASCAR season. where people are like, "Oh, I want to show up for 36 races of flipping Lightning McQueen."
The
And
Olympics
it gives one of the worst performances. Worst performance. Like this is when the United States believed that Larry the Cable Guy was hilarious, and they give him so much leeway, and like that hurts me because Coho is just knee slapping over to Toe Mater. Like
I know I had a whole monologue a few weeks ago on whatever the fuck it was about like Robin Williams is just basically hired to improvise.
oh,
Larry the Cable Guy was given Robin Williams treatment of say whatever you want, do whatever you want, and growing up, I had multiple people in my college theater program who said I'm going to do the next big thing, and I'm going to write Cars the musical. Get help. It is not that interesting.
Payson,
Yeah.
one, do you have a hot take, or do you have any responses?
Oh, do I have? I didn't come in here with a hot take, but I just wanted to respond to just two things that's been said. Cars is I'm kind of in the middle of the road about. Don't love it, don't hate it. The live action sports movie comment has always made me funny, has always just made me laugh because after that review came out, I checked the Letterboxd average for Glory Road, which is another live action sports movie that came out in 2006. People like that less than Cars. Also, yeah, Larry the Cable Mater sucks. He lives in a junkyard, which is the equivalent of someone living in a morgue. Okay, who cares?
Think about that.
That's so true.
He is a borderline serial killer. Yeah,
want a leg?
No, I said on call once that I hated Mater like a couple weeks ago. And it was Boat and Coho that you would have thought that I just said like the America was the bad guys during World War II. Like you would have thought that I just said the most controversial shit ever, and I'm just like, really, Mater is what you're dying on? This is your word. This is your 1776. Like, okay, fine. No, but for real. I think the interesting thing about adding people back to round 3 is in a format now where every category is going to be used by someone in round 3. That is a way to fuck certain people up. Because, like, with all due respect, I think if you put certain classic actors on the wheel, like in round 3, I think there are going to be some people that are going to be struggling to hit even a 1-pointer, even a 1 or 2-pointer.
That's fair. I imagine if you take Hitchcock consistently at a 1-2, how many matches until you start getting like give a plot detail from Lifeboat and you're like, fuck.
I actually do have a hot take that I just thought of. So if Spence wants to stay on call, they can. I just thought of something really fun.
Oh, the rules are.
Oh yeah, Paige. Spence can say until they annoy me and I kick them out.
Okay, yeah, this is just something for trivia that I've been kind of thinking about, and I just want to pitch this to you, and I want to hear your thoughts. So going into round 3, the reason we don't ask players, hey, do you want to draft your category first or second, is because there is 0 advantage to drafting a category second.
Right.
What if, even in a regular match, we did a snake draft for round 3? So that way there is a little bit of stress, because then you don't have the final pick if you go first. The second person gets their second and their third pick if you take their first one. Just something to talk. Now, if we just want to say, hey, if you're in the lead, you get the advantage no matter what, fine. I get it, but just something to think about.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting because then if you're up by a lot and you want to take your opponent's strength first, you're going to be left with whatever you might not want at the end, but you take it for 1. So the advantage of dropping 70s or classics that's been happening, but then the thrill of drafting comic book movies against your geek players, you'd have to run that risk. Not a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
just
you
like
know,
to think. Like I think there are highs and lows to it. I think it might affect a game in a negative fashion, but just something I thought I would throw out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it sounds really small, but the more I sit on it, it kind of fundamentally changes the way you approach round 3.
That's my thing.
Not in a bad way. Like, I don't think it's inherently better or worse in the current system. It's different enough that I think it changes just how you play and how you draft.
Yeah, I think that was like people's argument that they really wanted like um when we cut out the draft, they're like I lost some of the strategy behind it. But overall, most of the time it just pretty works out where it is. That'd be interesting. I have two ideas right now I haven't given much thought into. Trivia wise, they make sense. You got any film takes?
Oh, any film takes.
Here's a take I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
I want to hear
respond
your
to it.
thoughts. I want to
Okay.
hear your thoughts, both of your thoughts on it. If you create a top 100 favorite movies, and Schindler's List is in your top 100 favorites, you're a sociopath. Thoughts?
I'll go first. I disagree. I think so many people have a different definition of what a favorite is. Like I think when you are getting to your favorite movies, that is such a subjective thing that the reason you put a certain movie on that list, there can be many different versions. Like there can be many different reasons for that. It truly can be you think these are the best movies, these are the movies you watch the most, these are the movies that mean the most to you. I don't blame anyone personally.
Because I think, truthfully, my real response to this is I think people like to toe the line between favorite and best.
I agree.
When you create a best, you want to like, well, I can't have this over this because this would be here. Like, I got to include this because look at the prestige behind it. But when you're being transparent with yourself, there's not a random Sunday you're going through your top 100 and be like, you know what, I could go for Schindler's List right now. No, you don't. And if you do, I want to talk to you. You need to seek help.
Okay,
Fair.
so are you saying that there's no movies that you would have currently in your top 100 that you're going to sit there and be like, yes, I want to be like deeply emotionally moved? Like you won't have that feeling on a certain day.
I think so.
Point.
No, because I don't.
I disagree.
So my thing,
Okay.
when I believe is my number one thing is when I create a favorite list is rewatchability. What I can just tune in and just enjoy. Now, if you're Dylan that doesn't watch movies, he watches movies, but he doesn't rewatch movies, then you're running the risk of like, sure, that movie can be there because you're just not going to. But like, I think a movie that I think is very moving, but also runs the risk, like runs the gamut of being very watchable. And that's Spotlight. Spotlight's a hard subject matter, but overall, the characters and everything keep you enough invested in it that you're not just on the misery of the Holocaust. That's why I think they do such a good job of painting the Holocaust in such a like horrible light, which I guess you should. But like my thing is like I'm never like pop it in, sure, but like
I'm okay. Here, you got a hot take out of me. I don't think Schindler's List is as like I think it is a lot more watchable than people say. Like I think Spielberg is able to craft a very very like moving story while also creating entertaining characters in someone like Oskar Schindler, who is so clearly heroic that you can't help but want to follow and root for in this journey.
I would like hopping on that. It's like comparing it to something like Zone of Interest, which is a shorter movie but covering a similar subject
way tougher
matter.
to watch.
It is hard to sit through. There's a level of approach to pacing and writing and even the music. There's a fundamental like Spielberg, even though he is like a very good dramatic filmmaker, he understands why you come to the cinema. He understands why you're watching movies. He locks you in. I think there's a pacing there that really works. Like and like just adding on to your point. In my again, not like Holocaust levels, In my top 100, I have Short Term 12 and Fruitvale Station. Not easy watches. Heavy fucking movies. But the movies that I want to come back to because I enjoy the emotional journey the movies take me on. I'm able to connect with the characters in it. And even though they're going through hell, I still want to be with them through their journey. I can still want to be there with Oscar Schindler, with insert Ben Kingsley's character name here. Like you can still, I think you can connect to the people within the story that like makes you want to come back.
And here's another, like, Cody, tell me if you disagree. I find the idea of rewatching Schindler's List continuously, I think that is insane, just like you do. I don't think the idea of returning to certain scenes a lot in crazy at all. Like, there are certain scenes in Schindler's List that I think are incredible. And someone was like, yo, there are scenes I watch all the time. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You disagree?
There is not a movie out there that I just pull up a scene of that I would love to
Ooh,
just
disagree.
watch.
Disagree, but fair.
Ted 2.
That's
No,
crazy behavior.
No, there are several scenes I do that, like specifically with like opening scenes of movies or like endings of movies where I'm just like, I just want to watch this scene. I do that a lot.
That's crazy. No, out.
Like
the only time
the
I
way
did
that's-
that. The only time I did that is when I did the scenes list for YLS.
No, I do that a lot.
If I'm watching it, I want to watch because if I ever watch a scene, I'm gonna go watch the movie.
No, like the amount of times I've been at work and I'm like, you know what I want to watch? I want to watch the diner scene in Heat. I will straight up just pull up the diner scene on my phone and just watch it. I'm like, this fucking rules.
I disagree with that. I think I'm on Cody's side. I think if I want to watch a scene from a movie, I want it within the context of the movie. So I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood to see this.
There are enough scenes from movies I've seen where I can be like I can. This is why cable TV has run the Shawshank Redemption so much, because it knows, you know what, even if people aren't going to watch the whole movie, there are scenes of the Shawshank Redemption that people can just drop in and drop out.
No, the point is you come in and you're like, oh shit, it's Shawshank, and then you watch it from where you came through the rest of the movie because you're
or if you have responsibilities and you have to go somewhere, you watch for like 30 minutes and then you go.
On a movie, I'm putting on a TV show, so I have an easy in and out.
No, well, no. Again, this is not a hot take. Movies are better than TV.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just getting into TV, but my question is, do you believe it is crazy? Because we all use Letterboxd. We're all active at Letterboxd users. Oh, there's a sexy man just joined the show. I'm going to add him, but then I'm going to say something.
Oh, hell yeah. Andrew James Bond.
Do you think it's wild? You need to see credits roll to log a film on Letterboxd.
To log, I do not log if I do not finish the movie. If I have rewatched the movie and I come in, if I come in like more than halfway through a movie, like if I come in more than halfway through a movie, I will never log that. But if I have seen the movie before and I miss like the first like 20 minutes of, let's say, Die Hard, sure, I'll still log it.
I'll add to this, because very recently on this big Canada trip I just went on, the group put on Deep Blue Sea, which I had never seen before.
Fuck yeah.
I saw the first 15 minutes and I took a nap. And I woke up for the last half an hour. Did I log the movie? Yes. Did I give it a rating? No. Because I'm not able to give an actual opinion on it. I wanted to like be sure I saved it, like I commemorated it. I'm not going to do that. I have a totally valid
Speaking of,
I'm going to head off. Bar's here. I want to hear his thoughts. I'm going to listen to it. This is an exciting show. Good luck, Cody.
I've overstayed my welcome, but I will yell at Bar from the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Film Hot Takes. What you got?
What have I got?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to defend something, not totally, but I'm going to defend something that has been brought up in this community a couple times.
Okay.
Rex Harrison in My Fair Lady is not that bad.
Oh.
He's not amazing. I give you that. He's not amazing. but he's doing what the role calls for, and he's doing it well.
Can you hear me out?
Okay.
Are you done, or you want to hear me out?
No. I'm gonna keep going just a little bit.
Yeah.
Should he have won the Oscar? Absolutely not. He
It's
probably
left at
shouldn't
the
have even
worst
gotten
part
nominated.
ever.
Probably
Yeah.
shouldn't have even gotten nominated.
Uh-huh.
But in terms of what the role calls for in his performance, it's really good. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, his singing's not even that. He doesn't even sing most of the time. He's kind of talk singing." Yeah, because he's a linguistics teacher. So those songs kind of call for talk singing until he finally starts showing real emotion, and he finally actually starts singing melodically. So like that's not even a him thing, that's a character thing. So is he giving an amazing performance? I'd probably argue not necessarily, but he's better than people in this community kind of give him credit for.
So he does rank that second to last on my best people that have won the best actor Oscar. I've watched all the films. I realize there's a real Nazi in there. Let me tell you, not as bad as Rex Harrison. Okay, bad political views, just not as bad as Rex Harrison. Anyways, I will say, I feel like this happens in film a lot. That the character you portray is creepy.
Oh yeah, no, I hate his character.
So I
at the
think
end.
maybe it carries extra weight that it's freaking weird. But bar one, let's just peel back the curtains. Horrible fucking musical. Horrible fucking
No,
musical.
it's not.
It's pretty bad.
So bad.
The
It's
ending was
so-
ruined
hold
by.
on. Oh,
Okay.
my turn. Thank you. Horrible. One, I will take the little redhead girl getting adopted by a billionaire and walks around and life's going to be a better side than this thing. I think
Oh my
and that's
God.
that's a creepy storyline. But I'm saying bad, overblown, long, dreadful performances. She can't really sing. He can't really sing. So you're like throwing this
That's not her singing voice.
Well, I know that's a problem because you know who they should have cast? Fucking Mary
Yes,
Poppins.
even she will
If you
admit
never
that.
listened to that story, by the way, go in and look at that. By the way, that the producer of My Fair Lady did not believe in Julie Andrews enough to think she couldn't sell films, so that's why I went with Audrey Hepburn, even
Point
though
when
Julie
she won
Andrews
the
was in the
Oscar, she
stage
thanked
production.
him.
Yeah, and she thanked him at winning the Oscar. So crazy idea, stupid. Rex Harrison's bad. He just arguably is a bad performance in a bad movie, so it hurts. And then you attach him with the Oscar. That's a bullseye. Like
The fact that he
that's
won
a
Peter
bullseye.
Sellers' Oscar is kind of it incredibly smears everything about it.
I can't believe Spence left right before you said this phrase because I knew Spence would have a reaction. Kirk, your thoughts on what Barr said, and then we'll get into yours.
I mean, Barr knows musical theater better than me, so maybe he's right, and maybe that character is just really poorly written and is a bad stage character. Because I mean, if that's what you're supposed to do, then with that character, then it's a crappy character.
I will admit that the ending, I hate the ending of that movie, but I
Oh.
blame the test audiences that they put the stage musical in front of, who all said, "Well, why aren't they together at the end?" And the writers were like, "Well, because they shouldn't be," but the audience was like, "They have to be."
Gross.
Ugh. Man, I thought you might go in this direction. You're still wrong. It's just arguably wrong. I think there's fun moments. That movie's so freaking long, like real bad. Did you anything to say about Cars being a bad movie? You want to defend or you agree?
It's the most inoffensive movie I've ever seen, maybe. So I don't care. I don't understand why people love it the way that they do.
Oh, it did win the best. It did win best.
Yeah.
What was the class?
I don't remember, to be honest with you, and I'm not in a
Okay.
position where I can look it up right now.
Yeah, you're fine. I just was curious. Okay. Um, Kirk, you've warned me. You've told me you have hot takes.
Oh boy,
I'm
I'm so
curious.
glad I'm on for this.
I missed were Spence and Pace your first people you had on? Was that
Yep.
the beginning of the show?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right, sorry, I missed too much. What do we talk about? Okay. Big month for comic book movies. I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet. Superman is pretty good. So let's talk about comic book movies.
Okay.
Going for gritty realism in comic book movies is idiotic. Like it makes no sense. Like as much as 2/3 of the Nolan movies are good, it's ridiculous. Batman is about a guy who dresses up as a bat and wears a cape, and people take him seriously. Once you reach that point, you are a billion miles away from reality. If
Don't
Batman,
forget the voice that they have to add.
if Batman existed in real life, he would get laughed out of every room full of adults he walked into. This is somewhere me and Bart disagree. Batman and Robin sucks, but
it's
that
bad,
is
but I enjoy it.
so much closer to the universe that Batman would exist into than the Nolan movies. When you watch a Nolan movie and it's a bunch of like people out of like a cop show, like a bunch of cops just in a room, like schlubby cops, and you have Batman, it looks ridiculous. And then, when they try to apply, with the Batman, there's a lot of, there's a lot of like stuff about, he's a rich guy and he beats up poor people and blah, blah. They try to put like real world politics into it. Like, you understand, for Batman to be able to go onto a crime scene as just a guy in a mask, and for like him to apprehend criminals and those criminals to go to court and their convictions to stand, the DC universe has a different constitution in America than we do. Like, literally, their laws don't apply. Like, it is a completely different world. You cannot apply anything in the real world to Batman or Superman or anybody. When you make them ridiculous, like, Batman, the new Superman movie, is a comic book movie. It doesn't make sense. They put a little bit of politics in it, but still, it's far-fetched. It has to be far-fetched. And while we're on it, what is with everybody's obsession with R-rated comics? Why do you need R-rated children's media? Like, it makes no sense. Like, like Suicide Squad, Deadpool, those, it fits those. But people who are like, man, I need to hear Batman say the F word, or I need to see Wonder Woman have sex. Like, it's weird and it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's like, what it boils down to, people are going to take offenses to this. I'm not necessarily talking to you when I say this, about you when I say this, unless maybe you think I am, and that's you. But I think what it is, when people are like so desperate for R-rated comic book movies or R-rated Star Wars, it's because they're really insecure in their fandom, and they've been told all their lives, oh, this is for children. And if they put out an R-rated product, oh, look, see, it's not for kids. This is for grown-ups. Look, Superman said the F word. It's for grown-ups. I'm not watching baby stuff. I'm watching stuff for mature stuff for grown-ups. Look at me. And that's what it all comes down to. So,
Interesting first hot take. The only pushback I will have is the gritty comic book is the best portrayal of Batman that we've ever gotten. So why is it impossible to give us a goofy Batman that works? Because Nolan figured it out, regardless whether we believe it or not, because it's gritty and goofy. But like, that's been the best it's ever come close, in my opinion.
I mean, they're good movies and they're enjoyable movies. But again, if you think about it, like, I watch Batman and Robin and I say, yeah, this makes sense. This checks out. A guy who dressed up like a bat, there has to be guys in giant ice costumes that he's fighting for it to make sense.
With nothing but puns.
When I watch The Dark Knight, or I watch Batman Begins, I'm like, yeah, I'm not saying it's a terrible movie, but if I let myself think about it for 5 seconds, I'm like, this makes absolutely no sense.
I think the other thing though is that Nolan picked villains that, for the most part, at least, not 100%, but for the most part, are like the more grounded um Batman Rogues villain. Like, because if like I can't imagine Nolan doing a Mad Hatter or Mr. Freeze in any of those films. And if he did, I think I would be 100% with you there, like 100%.
And again, that's what's wrong with his Batman universe, is that you can't have a Mad Hatter, you can't have a Mister Freeze, and for Batman to make sense for a character like Batman and what he does, his operations, you have to be able to have a Mad Hatter or a Mister Freeze, because it's a yin and the yang thing where
So
the character itself is ridiculous.
Can he be done live action then?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, I think that. I think Burton came the closest to striking the balance. Again, I'm not talking about quality of movie. I'm just talking about the universe making sense.
No, I get
And
you.
I think when you look at the Burton movies, it's like, okay, this is the real world tilted like 45 degrees on its axis. And I believe this is a world where a guy dressed as a clown is going to.
Perfect amount of time. When my thought process is, like, what a pause, like holding the earth in his hand, like a supervillain. Back to your one point of rated R, Deadpool makes the most sense to be rated R. I don't. Maybe there is people, and I just don't realize it. I know there's been an outcry for like Star Wars to like have a R rated, and that's just because you want to see him. Like, man, Revenge of the Sith would be better if we got to watch Anakin slice through those little children. Like, that would have been sweet. Like, what are we wanting to see? Like, we want to see more like lightsaber brutality. Like, we get to see that still in PG-13. Like, in the Rogue One scene, he still like carved through multiple people like in that scene. I think R rated is just a cop out to get across the line that doesn't need to. I think like The Kingsman is one of those movies, the first movie I think it is, where it like has that out of pocket like line if we do it in the butt or whatever at the end, or it's just like what, like a head jerk. Like, what did you just? Why? Why was that needed? Like, I know you're R rated, but like, do we have to do you? It's just. It seems out of place. It seems forced in that situation, and it feels like, oh, I don't know how to come up with creative enough dialogue. So if I let them say "fuck" a couple times, maybe we'll get the point across. But I do agree. If there are people outraging that need to see like these characters having sex and stuff like that, buddies, there's fan fiction websites. I bet there's out there that you can go live your fantasy somewhere else. But I don't need to see it on the big screen. I've never needed to see Lois Lane and Superman actually get it on, which they've now showed like a couple times in the movies. But it's like, I don't need to see that in real life.
Yeah, well, I mean, we kind of got that with the Killing Joke movie.
Yeah, look how that turned out.
One of my hot takes before you guys joined is I think people toe the line when creating a top 100 list, that they toe the line between best and favorite, and they try to like get films that are critically acclaimed in there, because what's a list without it? You know what I mean? Like, if I don't have The Godfather, is my list valid? If I don't have Schindler's List, is my list valid? I just think people need to own what their favorite movies really are and just like have at. Because I believe like Coho's a perfect example. I give him so much shit all the time. But he had like Who Framed Roger Rabbit a spot lower than Schindler's List. I'm sorry, sir. I've never once heard you ever bring up Schindler's List, but I've heard you bring up Who Framed Roger Rabbit multiple times to me. So at that point, I think if you have it on your top 100 list, you probably need to seek some help.
I mean, it's so subjective making the top, and I agree with you. It's really subjective, and I admit I totally try to toe the line, between what's objectively good and what's my favorites. Now, I mean, I think my favorites are objectively good, so it's hard. I mean, I think the other side of that coin are the people who will say, well, yeah, Godfather's a really good movie, but it's on everybody's list, so it's not going to be on mine. You know, I'm going to put some weird movie, you know, because I hate those like pick me top 100s where it's all like, look at me, I don't have The Godfather, I don't have Casablanca, I have this like weird thing that nobody else talks about, but I do because I'm special. You know, like that kind of stuff where that is also not very interesting to me.
And then there's people like me who had Legally Blonde, I think, directly next to The Godfather on his list.
I remember that.
You
yeah.
also took off a half star because you fell asleep.
That is not what happened.
Do you have proof that it didn't?
Show me.
I'm just saying, I know it happened because I remember yelling at you. Kind of crazy.
I have
Your
proof.
first time on the
Where?
show,
Somewhere.
probably the man that comments the most on things, Chris Diaz.
All right. Gotta go.
Hello.
To bed. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
See, man.
What's your hot
Good night,
take?
Bond. Ooh. So, the movie my dad loved, and he loved with passion, but I don't love. It's Full Metal Jacket. I like it. I like it a lot. But to me, the film peaked after the training stuff. And it loses me when it got to the war stuff. I think it's a great, really good war movie, but I don't think it's the greatest war movie that a lot of people make out to be.
Okay. Yeah, I do kind of agree with you a little bit. Because I think it does peak pretty early in the film. It does get pretty brutal near the end, like that stuff after the training montage. But I think I just remember that Arlie Ermy,
Arlie Ermy,
Yeah.
just given that rant, which is like all time, just like what a drill sergeant would sound like, how he's always been described. So I don't disagree, but like that's not a real hot take. You say it's a good film, but you don't love it. That's not a real hot take. That's just saying like it gets too much praise. So you got a hot take.
Ooh.
And Kirk will go back to
tried.
yours after if you got another one.
Sure. I mean, what Chris is thinking, I'll say, like, I agree with, like, I mean, I feel like it's, I don't love them. Like, I think it's a good movie. Like, it's probably, I don't even know if it's top 5 Kubrick for me. But it's good. I mean, it is a really good movie. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the standard opinion of that film, that like, it's what everybody talks about. You know what I mean? Like, nobody ever talks about once they land in Vietnam. Everybody's talking about boot camp. Everybody's talking about Arlie Ermy. Everybody's talking about the blanket party. Everybody's talking about the bathroom scene. So yeah, I think that is, you know, for better or worse, you know, whether or not that is objectively the better part of the movie, that's what everybody remembers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
And I know, Cody, you got into debate about it in the past. I don't think. Well, I do like Anthony Hopkins a lot, Hannibal Lecter. I don't think he's the greatest Hannibal Lecter of all time. Like,
Okay, here we go.
Hold
I
the
think
fucking phone. Who are you giving it to?
I think Matt Mikkelsen is my favorite Hannibal Lecter, just because I think the quiet, the interpreted that you just see why the police trust him, and that they never figure out that he is behind a lot of things. That I do like, and like that's why I love the Hannibal TV show the most out of any of the Hannibal Lecter stuff, because it's the psychological, him manipulating Will, and the way he does it with his word. Doesn't do like weird facial reaction. He does the way he speaks. That
I've never been more close to the eject button on this show so far. It's the first episode. Chris almost went yeeted to the sun. To be fair, I've seen clips of Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal. I have not watched the show, so I will tiptoe on it. But what I will say is Anthony Hopkins does more in 19 minutes than most actors wish they could do in a full runtime of film on any character. He is absolutely chewing up the scenery. I'll use the expression I hate the most in this game. he is killing it from start to finish. The moment he's introduced, the back and forth he has, the presence that he shows up when he first appears, absolutely incredible. And you're talking about slow and methodical. The whole Hannibal Lecter character is that, and that's what Anthony Hopkins does.
Yeah.
And wow, it's probably really cool to emulate fucking Hannibal Lecter when you get to watch Anthony Hopkins play the role first and make your own interpretations.
I will say,
The-
I like him a lot, and I think
Mhm.
if I go back to rewatch it, his performance may get better. And
Uh-huh.
that is a film I need to go back and rewatch.
You watched it once and then you came up with this opinion.
No, I watched it like a few times, and I watched like clips a few times. I just haven't gone back in a while to watch.
Okay. Well,
But I
you
also,
have some homework.
and I
You
will
have
say,
some homework to do, and it's Silence of the Lambs. Actually, watch all three because my hot take is I think the trilogy is really freaking good. To be honest with you, I think it's good.
I like Red Dragon a lot, and Red
Yeah,
Dragon doesn't get
better
brought up a
than
lot.
Manhunter. Said it. Go ahead.
I've never
Yeah.
seen the TV show, so I can't speak to Mads Mikkelsen's performance. My hot take on Silence of the Lambs, and I've said this before, I've never kept this a secret. I think objectively, Silence of the Lambs is probably a better movie than Manhunter, but it's also Michael Mann is a better director to tell the story of Hannibal Lecter than Jonathan Demme. I don't think it's. I have no
I
problem
don't
with.
disagree with that. I like Manhunter a good amount, not as much as Silence of the Lamb and everything else.
I just compare the two scenes where you meet Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. He's coming in, and you're like in this gothic castle, like you're about to meet Dracula. And then in Manhunter, he's just like in this gross, dank cell with that like flickering fluorescent lighting, and that's just so much more gross to me. I mean, I don't think Brian Cox doing a better job than Hopkins, but I think the way that whole thing is presented is so much better. I mean, like I said, it's not a Hopkins problem to me; it's a Jonathan Demme problem. I don't think Jonathan Demme is the guy to tell that story.
That's perfect. All right. So, Chris, love to have you on. I'm going to put you backstage real quick because this next person, me and him have been circling since YouTube comments of arguing and debating. Never actively debated on screen before. I have to get this man on. It is Rue. I can't. The man that is not afraid of hot takes at all, if I know him well enough. So I can just imagine what he's got up his sleeve. You can comment on anything we've said before, or you can make your own state right now.
I caught y'all late, so I was just trying to figure out what I would say. This hot take is halfway a joke because I need to do some homework, and then halfway real, but I'm going to just say the whole thing. I've said this to some people, and they look at me like I'm crazy, and then I laugh because I don't think any of them are that great. But Paul W.S. Anderson is the best Anderson director.
Brian Michaels that in the chat.
Yeah.
Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yeah. So, like...
Better than Paul Thomas. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the one that's halfway the joke. Because
Okay.
I've seen maybe two PTA films I don't really care for. He's the one I need to do homework on, and I would love to prove it. I probably will be wrong on that one, but 100% fuck Wes Anderson. Like outside of Grand Budapest Hotel, which is great. After that, I could give two shits about Wes Anderson and his bright colors and his pretentious characters, and that shit is not funny. It's boring. That's why I also included PTA because the couple I've seen, never again.
What are the two that you have seen of his?
I'm pretty sure it's this one's great, but I don't want to see it again. It's the best movie out of all of them. Like I said, it's kind of BS. I don't really want to see There Will Be Blood again. I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think did he do The Master?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that movie. I don't give a shit about that.
Okay. So the funny thing is, I have such little respect for Wes Anderson that when you said this Paul W.S. Anderson, I said, this was PTA. I didn't even consider Wes. I hate Wes Anderson films. This man builds his sets and his neon green cabinets and shit all around it before he ever works on character development or story. Terrible. I can't stand it. He has to make it like as wonky as he can to make it like,
Sure,
oh,
it's-
look at me,
no.
look at me. I want you
The-
talking about my set. I want you talking about this. Blow it
The
out
first
of
time I saw the first time I saw the Royal Tenenbaums in theater, I saw it with a bunch of my family, and we all laughed our ass off. And then I watched it again, and I was like, I found this funny. I
You were
thought
with your family, yeah. Group laughter is real.
it's very much, which I will also add. I don't know if either of you seen it, but this is a recent hot take that has been bothering the hell out of me. Have either of you seen the recent Naked Gun?
No.
Okay, well, for everybody except me and my friend who's been there, that shit is not funny. It's not funny at all. Like, not to the point that people are saying. It fits.
Yeah.
The cast is great. Liam is the perfect person. Pamela was great in it. They all were great. They understood the assignment, but it was all pity chunks. All just ha, ha, ha. I laughed at the three jokes I laughed at that I genuinely had a laugh, and they either were a personal connection to me or they were offensive, like the OJ joke in the trailer.
Everybody in the community that I follow, which I don't follow everybody, but no one has. There's only one person I follow that has it under 3.5. It's all 4s.
Gave that shit a 2.
I mean,
Wow.
I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to see it, Rue, because I know I'd feel exactly the way you feel about it. I've never found that stuff. Like you said, it's like jokes if like a family member said them at Thanksgiving dinner, you'd pity laugh. But
The funny thing
I don't know
is-
how they make it into a movie.
The funny thing is, I love the original Naked Gun. The original Naked Gun was hilarious to me, and it was to me. It's like a really fine line between like I thought Leslie Nielsen did the perfect amount of not over exaggerating it, or the perfect delivery, and just before reaching over to cringy, and And this one, it was just the set pieces weren't funny. There's a particular picture going around about like a character who's in the movie for 15 minutes and still in the whole thing, and I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? That was not funny at all. And then another one that was like, that was an Austin Powers set piece that I laughed at 15, 20 years ago. I'm not laughing at it now. Yeah. So
I just don't find. Well, okay, let me just be transparent. This is the form of comedy that I just roll my eyes at. I just don't. I don't like design jokes to like go for, like, that's why airplanes never worked for me. That's why like I don't like Leslie Nielsen as an act. Like, I get that people find him like super funny. I just don't find that kind of humor funny. There are moments like I'm like Hal Rudnick, like even a man in jail smiles every once in a while. Like I'll do a chuckle every now and then. But when I saw the promotional leading up to Naked Gun, I was just like, I don't. It could be the greatest movie. I just personally, I know that I will just blank stare at it. And that
Probably.
will just be not. And I don't want people. But the worst thing is when you disagree with a comedy, especially in this community. My favorite thing is, oh, like you just didn't like understand the joke, or like, come on, you had to laugh at that. No, I'm gonna be honest. No, I didn't. Like, you don't explain comedy to me. I can laugh at good times. This just doesn't work for me at all.
Rue, how was
jokes are best because-
Paul Walter Hauser in that? Because he's
Dude,
the one person.
they were all good.
Really?
Like I can separate like the only thing that didn't work for me in that movie is the writing and the comedy. And the thing is, it's a comedy film. So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna like a comedy film that isn't funny, but I can recognize every actor did everything they were supposed to. The pacing was great. The jokes just didn't land. So it's like, well, if I'm not finding a comedy funny, I'm not gonna like it. I'm just not. So yeah.
Do you have any responses to the Anderson thing that he brought up, Kirk?
I do. I don't feel the need to defend Wes or Paul Thomas, but let's talk about Paul W. Wes, because it just so happened I'm quickly regretting my participation in Blockbuster Brawl. I just binged all of the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
And if you
Sweet eyebrows, right?
yeah, if you want to say anything positive about that director, that filmmaker, I'm going to have to hard disagree. You talk about Wes Anderson's aesthetic. What is Paul W. S. Anderson's aesthetic? Just like editing where he cuts every 4 seconds, and physics and like time and space and reality lose all meaning. And
Can you just talk about realistic
visual effects from like 1994, somebody's like Commodore 64 and like the early 90s, like it's awful. Like I whatever your opinions on Wes are, Paul Thomas, I know they're not everybody loves him, that's fine, but to say that I'm hard pressed to find anybody named Anderson or otherwise who cannot. Wes Anderson films and Paul Thomas Anderson films at least feel like they're made by human beings. I can't say the same for Paul W.S.
Look, the 95 Mortal Kombat carries a lot of weight for me. A whole lot of fucking weight for me. And that's it's better than Requiem. I'll tell you that. It's watchable in the background.
Both pretty rough.
No, Requiem, like I've said this. If you get asked a Requiem question, challenge on the fact that you can't see what is happening.
You can't.
Like I make that joke about the Batman all the time. Like they used all their budget for big sets and Gotham being a character, but they forgot lighting a lot in that film, and it drives me crazy. But no, like again, I would not say Paul W.S. Anderson. I would just say better. I think there's a good case to say that the Andersons are kind of overrated. Like if we're being real.
Well,
like
2 out of 3, because nobody says Paul W.S. Anderson is good in any way besides what the fuck I just said.
Like Fantastic Mr. Fox, this community thinks it hung the moon. Like stop motion and everything started when Fantastic Mr. Fox stepped on the scene and created heaven and earth. I just arguably just disagree.
It's
like
fine.
I just don't find again, we can go into a whole weighted of what people like over criticizing this community, but you got any other hot takes, bro?
That was the only one I could think of at the moment. I was just trying to pick one that I've said, and that was recent, and I was going to see if y'all had seen Naked Gun, because that's the one on my mind. I just wanted to come in real quick, say what up, do that. I was like, this has got to be the debate thing that Cody wants to do a little bit, so let me at least talk to him a little bit.
Yes.
But I will be back on another one if I have other ideas.
I can't wait.
Yes.
So thanks for hopping on, Rue.
Take care. We're good seeing you.
Kirk, you got another one for me?
Talking about fandom stuff some more.
Okay.
Politics and Star Wars don't matter. Everybody ever since Andor came
out. The first one,
it
mattered.
It didn't. That's where it didn't matter at all. It didn't matter the least bit.
Phantom Menace?
Oh! I thought you meant first one by release.
Episode 1. Yeah, that was C-SPAN in space.
Yeah, exactly. Episode 1, and here's my whole. The reason I don't care about Star Wars and politics and Star Wars is because Star Wars doesn't care about politics and Star Wars, and I point to
that's true.
In A New Hope, you have your fascist villains come out and they blow up Princess Leia's planet right in front of her. Her reaction is to gasp, immediately go take a nap, and then never talk about it again. They put this thing in. What is like the most mustache twirling thing we can have these villains do? Let's have them blow up an entire planet. And then, people want to retroactively like assign all this political meaning to it. And then, like I said, you have the C-SPAN episodes of, the prequels, and then even the show, the Clone Wars show. There's 2-part episodes. They're literally just about like banking contracts. It's ridiculous. And I think I think in the movies, like it's just filler because like you didn't need to see Anakin Skywalker as a kid. They started that story way too early, and you had to fill 3 movies, so you have a lot of this stuff. But yeah, again, I think it goes back to everybody's so excited about Andor because you have all these people, and I'm not talking about this community. I'm talking about Star Wars fans in general. You have people who only watch Star Wars, so they've never seen like any like thing. They haven't seen a lot of stuff out there with like real adult ideas, but like Guy, if you want like political like intrigue, go watch all the President's Men. You don't have to just watch Star Wars. Like there's this whole world out there of things you could be watching, and that's my other thing too. With like everybody's like, oh yeah, I love Andor because it does have lightsabers. I love lightsabers. I love space magic. That's what I watch Star Wars for. If I want political intrigue, I'm going somewhere else.
That's what like Rogue One. Everybody was like, Rogue One's really good. I'm like, I may be just the most simplest brain possible, but I need laser swords. Like if I'm going to be real, like, that's only I don't care about characters that I never knew before this showing up for a movie that I know are not going to be after the movie. I think that's a bad thing in movies when they're trying to fill voids and like do different things. Because like I think Star Wars fans, I think honestly, truthfully, I don't think Star Wars fans will ever be happy.
No,
personally. About anything, because like they were kids when they watched it, and then when they grew up and they changed it a little bit, they lose their interest on it. So I think it's when they don't do what they want to do, because I think perception, like what you think something's going to happen, is your issue.
I think because I think what Star Wars is, I compare it right now in 2025. Star Wars is a family member that's on life support.
Yeah.
And you should have pulled the plug a long time ago, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. But at the same time, you resent that person because of all the pain and the anguish that them hanging on is causing you. You know what I mean? Like Star Wars was a trilogy. It was one story. And that was all it was ever meant to be. And the more we add on to that, it should have died a long time ago. And we just keep dragging that corpse along and try to make new things out of it, and it's just going to get worse and worse because it was never meant to be anything it is now, and it just everything else is a cash-in.
My thing is, and you may disagree, but my biggest thing is why can't we just shoot so far away from the Skywalkers? Like we're in a galaxy far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
But we follow the same fucking storyline for the any movies we ever get.
But that's the thing. That's the story, though. That's the story. Like it's like if you talk about what's I mean, let's make a Godfather movie. Why are we just sticking with the Corleones? There's this whole vast criminal empire. You know, there's why don't we go to like Los Angeles and meet the crime boss in Los Angeles in that world. You know what I mean? And I understand. I understand. I think there is
different.
Go ahead.
Isn't that a little different? Because you got planets, like and other life forms and other things that you can go around and do. Like I still don't. Maybe they have. I haven't really watched it because I think the downfall of Marvel and Star Wars was TV.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
That was the downfall of it because they tried to do too much media at one point. So I think that's the biggest thing. But I think you could branch off and do different things. But I do want to pike a pause because the man that saved multiplex entertainment with his show, Guess That Movie, has showed up. And if there's anybody I know that has hot takes, gotta be this guy. So, Mike, how you doing?
God damn it! Wanted to come in here. Wanted to bring up something that Kirk brought up a while. This has been a while ago. This was like probably 20 minutes ago. But fuck it. When he's talking about top hundreds.
Okay.
Objectivity.
Schindler's List.
There is no objectivity in art. Because if that was the case, everyone would have the same top movie of all time. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone would have the worst movie of all time. But they don't. They don't at all. It cannot be objective.
Right.
Art isn't objective. It's subjective. No matter how much you put toward however much you want to say something's objective in art, it's not. Painting, film, doesn't matter.
So you're defending Schindler's List being on someone's top 100.
Fucking A, right. It's in my top
Trash.
100, goddammit.
Yeah,
Fuck
because
you.
you're a Spielberg slut, and let's just be real. Like, if we're being real, no. My thing is, I think we just bend the lines. That's my biggest argument. That we try to fill two voids in the same list and not just be honest with ourselves.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that I can
fine.
agree with. Yeah.
Put Schindler's List on your list. It's not 44. Like, you're not, maybe for you, but like for a person that I know very well, in Caleb Coho, he puts it at 44, right above Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I've went in lengthy conversations, and we've done YLS list where he presents list. You know how many lists Schindler's List has been on?
None. Oh yeah, no.
You know how many lists Who Framed Roger Rabbit has been on? A bunch. And my thing is, why don't you just be transparent and put it up? He put the Post at 100. Meryl Streep wouldn't put the Post in her top 100 films. What are we doing?
That's also something to bring up is people that have those top 100 lists. Especially, I'll even say let's bring it down to like the top 20.
Okay.
You know me. I talk about my favorite movies of all time. The ones I talk about all in my top 20 that I bring up consistently. The ones you bring up consistently, I could find in your top 10, top 20 easily. There's some people in this community. I like off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody straight up, but there are people who have top 100 lists that they will never bring up one of those movies in their top 20, even in their top 10. I don't hear people bring up those type of movies in regular conversation, not even on shows, but in regular conversations, but then they'll have it as the number 2 of all time. I'm like, it's your number fucking 2. Why are you not talking about it? Not saying that you have to say it's your number 2 of all time all the time, but bringing up quotes, bringing up.
Here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example. Let's hear this one. What's the one thing we know about Caleb Coho with a movie? If you decided to put a movie to Caleb Coho, what would that movie or movies be?
Pirates.
Correct. This man has Pirates in the 5-hole. Curse of the Black Pearl in the 5-hole. But now he has Dead Man Chest 2.
Okay.
But Finding Nemo and It's a Wonderful Life are above Pirates. Fuck off. You're full of shit. Like, push come to shove, you're not popping in It's a Wonderful Life over Curse of the Black Pearl. You're just not. And that's fine. But what are we... My thing is, here's my plea to the audience. I want you to all do this. If you don't want me to look at something objectively, don't put a number on it. Don't rank them. Just say, here are my 100 favorite movies. No particular order. Because at that point, these are my movies. These are the ones I stand by. And then I don't have to look at Schindler's List in the 44 hole and be like, you're a dumbass. You don't believe this. But when you put a number on it, I compare what's before it, and I compare what's after it. And that's the issue that I have.
Now, Cody,
and like,
would you have
here's
Ready
the
to
thing.
Rumble on your new top 100?
No. But honestly, I'd watch that movie probably over Schindler's List.
I'll push back on this just a little bit because
Okay.
I think different movies do different things, and you can appreciate them for different reasons. And
Sure.
I think Schindler's List is the obvious example, but there's a lot of movies like that where there are movies that are work, and it's not bad work or hard work, but they're work. And like a movie like Schindler's List, and I've watched Schindler's List once. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. And if someone says,
exactly.
yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. Was one of my favorite movies when I watch it because of this, but I just can't get back to that often. You know, I call them I have Sunday night movies. Like end of the week, it's like 9 o'clock. I don't want to go to bed yet, but I don't want to watch anything too heavy. I'm going to throw on a movie. You know, so there's movies I watch in that time slot. I'm going to watch a lot more often than The Godfather.
Right.
Or we might watch those more often than Goodfellas because the opportunity arises and they're a lot easier to digest.
No,
I mean, it's like
I agree.
you probably eat McDonald's more often than you eat your favorite meal of all time. Like something your mom makes or something like that. But and you might really like McDonald's, you really might like a Big Mac, but you also like what that favorite meal from your mom, and it's for two different reasons. So it's nebulous. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. It's not a perfect system. Anytime you make a top 100 list, I know a lot of people who just won't do it because of that. I've talked to people who says I can't sit down and make a top 100 because of these things we're talking about. So I'm not going to say if someone's going to say like, oh, I got Schindler's List on my top 100, then it's disingenuous because you've only seen it once or twice where you've seen a movie behind it maybe 50 times because they're two different kinds of movie doing two different types of things.
Yeah, I don't disagree but I think when I create a favorite list, and if you're not a rewatchability, like if you don't watch movies over, fine. When I consider a top 100 favorite movies, is if I get dropped off anywhere on an island and I got 100 of these movies, I'm set. Like I could start at the beginning of the year and watch 1 through 100, and then the end of it, I could start that system again, and I wouldn't have any. There would not be a law. There would not be a moment I'm like, oh God, I've seen this part. No, like I'm set. And so then there's the argument of like, how long can somebody take to go into your list and blah blah. I think that's subjective. I think you can do it. Like again, I didn't see Godfather in 1972. I didn't get to watch it the first time. The first time I watched it, I absolutely loved the film right away. There was no questions that that would be one of my favorite films if I watch it again. Like, but I always do like a 2 watch. Like, if it hits the same as I watched it the first time, then I can prove it. Like, okay, it's crossed the test. Like Coho put Superman in his list. I knew that was coming. I actually set a timer to watch. I almost made a live bet with everybody in the community to say, hey, what time is Coho going to add Superman to his top 100 list? It happened like 9 days later, but it was just magic. Like when it happened, I knew it was coming. But yeah, I think we're trying to. I think people in this community try to fit 2 criteria in there. Like he has. Oh, here he is. Say his name and he'll appear.
I need to make it clear. I've been trying to get on since Rue is on the stream. That's how much my computer hates the idea of me being on the show. I was trying to jump on at the Andersons debate, and then what got me annoyed enough was Kirk talking about how Star Wars doesn't care about like politics and Star Wars doesn't matter, when that's the conceit of Star Wars. That's like the whole series.
Did you hear anything I just said?
Whatever. But then I heard something about my name, and I was like, I definitely need to get in here. So what's happening?
Okay, so we'll let you touch on all the things in a second. But my thing is, I think you're full of shit.
Okay, cool, great.
I have thought you're full of shit since the day I met you.
Sure.
Even when other people wanted me to kick you out of things, I can't quit Caleb Coho. That's the one thing in life. Like, Coho will always have a spot at the table with me because he's the only one in the community that can take the full amount of shit and still be there to do a graphic for me when I need it. So, I think you're full of shit, and I want to put this on record. I think your top 100 list is an absolute. I think you're a rage baiting asshole.
Oh my god, this fucking take again. It's all true. Like
No, it's not. No, it's not. So here,
my top 100 is genuinely my 100 favorite fucking.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You would watch today Who Framed Roger Rabbit over Schindler's List.
Yes.
But you have Who Framed Roger Rabbit behind Schindler's List.
Because Schindler's List is a better movie. This is
but this is objective and favorite.
Yeah, the top 100 is a mix of both. There's a lot of different elements to my 100 favorite movies.
You have Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Sandwich. No, you have Godfather. The Godfather.
Sure.
Sandwiched between Tangled and Monster University. Now, if I was Sub T's like perfect rankings, no problem there. Like Monsters Inc. works, Monster University works. That's crazy behavior. Why have the Godfather at all? Because all you're doing is unzipping your fly and pissing on Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando would probably ask you to piss on him, to be clear.
Whoa!
But
Hot take.
Marlon Brando would have asked you to piss on him and then charge you $3 million for laying down for 10 minutes. That's what Marlon Brando would do. But The Godfather is a great movie, inarguably a perfect movie. I think I'd rather watch Tangled than The Godfather.
But you have Tangled behind The Godfather.
Or whichever one you had ahead.
Why don't you? That's the thing. You're full of shit. Why don't you just be real with yourself?
I am being real with myself.
No.
The Godfather is one of my 100 favorite movies, period.
Hold on. Here's the thing. This is the number one thing. This is the biggest problem I have with you.
What's the problem?
The one thing that you were known for.
Sure.
Would you ever put on an eye patch and a peg leg and hop on a boat and actually become a pirate? That doesn't. I don't believe that will ever happen. But you're the closest. That's the one thing that you are referred to as.
Sure.
There's not a fucking shot in hell that you're watching It's a Wonderful Life over The Curse of the Black Pearl.
No, 100% I am. Yes, I am. Gun to my head, you tell me to pick one movie, it's a Wonderful Life. Because The Curse of the Black Pearl is not the best Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Okay.
Put a gun to my head. That's okay. That's like putting a gun to Kirk's head and saying,
"Hey, we got our wings.
You have the choice between The Godfather or A New Hope. He's gonna pick The Godfather, and if you go Empire, maybe it's a closer discussion. Like,
okay.
Why is Pace in here? No one wants you. Get out of here.
Because I have a hot take looking at Coho that I wanted to share.
Oh no.
I'm gonna
He
say
looks like the guy from Monster University.
Monster University. You hear it every day. You're not original.
I think purple hair
said it
Coho
first.
is the best hair color. Genuinely,
Purple hair, me?
Yeah, that was my favorite hair color from Coho. I think blonde, like bleach blonde, was easily my least favorite. But I think purple hair. You looked.
Oh, you mean the reset period that I had to do because I was in a wedding? Yeah.
Yes.
The day that he showed up, there was the closest to a disappointed father on the other end, where I was sitting there so ashamed of my son and what he had done to himself.
Where you drew the line?
No. It was red. I think it was blue or red. Is when you looked at me and said,
"Blue's OG." That's the first time I dyed my hair.
You said, "Sorry, Cody." I remember when I popped on screen, you're like, "Sorry." I was like. And then my eyes adjusted, and they still haven't. But hold on, we're cooking. We're having nice.
I
nice
just have one quick question for Basin. Is this a metric of like what you liked looking at, or what era of me you just like being around?
What I like looking at, to be
okay. That's my
question. Get some fellatios in the chat, everybody.
Technically speaking, if we're talking about trivia success, bald head has surpassed all, but blue hair technically was my best playing era.
Okay, well, you guys go make out in your own Dick Rats chat. My question is...
Yeah, go ahead.
Kirk is very smart and handsome.
Why is that a hot take?
Yeah, hold on. Why is that a hot
take?
Jeez, oh man.
I mean, the smart part, I agree with you. The handsome doesn't need to be in there.
Wow. Smart's a good-looking guy.
But hold on. Coho had a point. Coho wanted to make an argument to Kirk, and I want to see the showdown. So I'm going to do this, and then go ahead.
The entire point of Star Wars, the conceit of Star Wars, functionally, is uprising against tyranny, against a tyrannical fascist government. And Princess Leia's actions, where you're like, oh, she just doesn't cry or show emotion. No, she bundles that shit down because she's the fucking leader of all.
She goes and literally takes a nap. She literally does this.
Torture, Kirk. Do you not know one of your favorite movies?
Are you a little short for a stormtrooper? My entire culture just got wiped out of the universe.
All right,
let's go do some.
Let's be very clear. If I walked into the room after you see a bunch of stormtroopers the size of Thomas Scully, and I walk in a room, you're a little thrown off and disoriented after you've been tortured after your planet blew up.
If you just watch the planet Earth get blown up, you're not firing off one-liners.
Yeah, but this is like 3 days later and 4 torturings in between, dude.
Exactly, 4 torturings, and she's still... No, my point is, yes, it is the story of tyranny and whatever, but that is not... The movie does not concern... The story does not concern itself with that. It's not like, oh, this is like some political statement. And I know, like retroactively, 30 years later, Lucas tried to say it was, but it's Flash. It's Flash Gordon. It's Buck Rogers. It's like the most simple, like
if it
like
was Flash Gordon,
old
Buck
serial
Rogers-
storyline.
If Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers were the inspiration, then why are the Nazis the literal template with the walking and the characterizations of all the villains through the movie? It's literally built on the text of World War II fascism. The stormtroopers are literally the SS troopers.
Kirk
that's how
defend the
they built
Nazis. Kirk defend the Nazis.
There's visual, like, I mean, there's a lot of visuals taken from a lot of stuff all over the place, but that doesn't mean that's what it's about. Just because like they wear like black uniforms.
Okay,
and Nazis wear
okay.
black
Let's take your example here and just say for a second you're right. Then it's a really wild coincidence that visually they're taken from the Nazis in movement and stylization. That the entire plot is about taking down a fascist government with a terrorist organization that they call it, with their own propaganda of the rebellion are terrorists, and the Empire suddenly, just randomly, they're just mustache twirling bad guys, except for the fact that there's an emperor, a guy in black that hunts down and systematically kills people, and an army of people that are dressed in identical uniforms. And then let's take into effect that in the sequels, the immediate two that they build off of and expound upon, they deepen that lore by showing there is an actual hierarchy of order within their system, that there are officers, admirals, generals, different ranking
it's an
officials
army.
that
I mean,
have
it's
different
an army.
rules. Yeah, but the different actual authoritarian system rules for each level, where it's like, oh, I'm in charge of hunting
Think you're
down
Coke,
people on
Kirk.
this planet. That's a lot of coincidences for it to not be, you know.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of different types of villains and a lot of different types of bad guys. My point is, I'm not saying like that stuff isn't there. I'm saying the original story does not concern itself with that in the least bit, other than the fact that we want our heroes to win and we want the bad guys to lose.
I totally disagree, though, because the entire thing is about espionage and stealing plans in the first act. In the opening, it's about, hey, we have spies who are everywhere taking plans, and this is our only chance right now, our best chance to take down these people that we don't technically know how long they've been in power. And with expanding of the story, we find out and see the different layers of it. But just basic first story, the entire purpose of the story from beat one to the end is defeating the Empire, who have been depicted from the first scene down as a fascistic, overbearing criminal government. And overthrowing the government apparently is a political statement, regardless.
It's about taking down the bad guys, and the bad guys are this overreaching government. But the reason that exists is so we can see our heroes overcome that. It's not about like it's not making a statement about that thing. Did he leave or did you boot him?
He just dropped him though.
Oh. It's not like, oh, you know, we're going to make some great political statement with this little farm boy from Tatooine. It's just we want to see him rise up in the, you know, the hero's journey, and you know, become the Jedi and everything, and the villains are the backdrop for that, and the catalyst for that.
Okay. So
I'm not saying there's
I'm
not.
gonna follow your hero's journey thing here for a moment. So just really on the hero's journey, two guys. We're going to follow me. Two guys here are going to take down the bad guys that are in front of them. This bad guy happens to know all their movements and is trying to keep information from them throughout the whole time. And they have to kind of overcome this mystery through and through. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know who's touching things on my show, but if you want to still have access to the channel, don't touch it again.
They have to overcome piece by piece this mystery that's trying to hold them down from overcoming the bad guy, right? That would sound like a hero's journey, right? They have to go through these trials to stop the bad guy.
Sure.
Essentially, hero's journey. That's the plot of All the President's Men, which is inherently a political film. That's essentially beat for beat the plot. Woodward and Bernstein overcome the trials and uncover the mystery to take down Nixon. That is the plot of All the President's Men, and simplified down to the plot of Star Wars.
When I make my move, you check the king. Yeah, I think he just checked.
So I mean, the point you're making though is you think
about a good guy taking down a bad guy, Kirk. When you simplify it down to its boiled down element, but Star Wars is political based on what it's saying in the content.
Kirk, just say he's bald and has a mustache. It's the best.
I'm not going to play dirty. No, I'm saying that I'm saying like the movie is not making a statement about that. And if it has opportunities to make those statements and it doesn't.
Okay, that's totally wrong because at the end of the day, they are overthrowing the government and the massive weapon that they're using to destroy planets.
Yeah.
That is 100% a political statement that they're like, oh, the guy that runs the government is bad, and now we have literally infiltrated a government facility to get the plans that'll give us the advantage to take down the one thing that's oppressing us from our government. That's pretty political in nature, just in context. Just because it's in space doesn't mean it's not political.
Okay, this is right. I'll give you a minute, Kirk, of your rebuttal, and then I'm killing Star Wars forever.
Yeah, I feel like, again, I'm not saying there's not a political element to it, but I'm saying within the story, it's not a concern of the I mean, other than events in the plot, there's no concern for, like I said, again, look at Princess Leia. There's no like, oh my God, we have to overthrow this year. So she's the princess in the story, and Vader is the evil wizard. And
I have 1 point.
And Luke is Mario.
No, my whole point rebuttal to that is if Leia's not concerned with anything political after that, then why is her whole speech, we have these plans, my whole job was to receive the plans, and now that I have the plans, I'm going to organize the destruction of the Death Star. She is concerned with politics. She's literally a senator.
She's concerned. Yeah, she's concerned that. But the movie, within the framework of the movie, she is not making a statement. She's not looking at the camera and saying, "Hey, this means this and this means that." It's just again,
Adam
it's
McKay
a means to end for the story.
Kirk.
What's that?
I said Adam McKay didn't write Star Wars, Kirk. She's not going to one take the camera and tell you, "Hey, Kirk, we're talking about the U.S. government."
I know. Adam McKay didn't make it. George Lucas made a story for children that is about laser swords and space princesses and wizards.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not the politics are ancillary.
I fully disagree with that statement for sure.
Back to Wes Anderson sucking thoughts.
Paul Thomas Anderson also. We got Mason here.
My thing is saying Paul W.S. Anderson is the best. Anderson is willful ignorance, especially when Amaru plays in Brawl. This man has seen the worst of Paul W.S. Anderson and cannot look at me and say that anything in one Resident Evil movie is better than a single frame of There Will Be Blood.
Event Horizon fucking rules.
I hear that's true.
That's my thing. Like, if Armor would have come on and said, like, oh, Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson are overrated, sure. Like that's a fair hot take. But like coming on and saying Paul W.S. Anderson is the best Anderson, I can come on here.
That's and Brian Michaels hyperbole.
Yeah. Also, Amaru said that the first person ever said that. Brian Michaels has said that multiple times. And I can come on here and say Uwe Boll is a better filmmaker than Steven Spielberg. It's like I'm not. There are certain.
Does he have an editor?
There are certain takes I'm not going to entertain. Like I'm sorry.
I think it was the third Mortal Kombat movie. I literally thought not Mortal Kombat. Sorry, Resident Evil. I literally thought I was having a stroke. Like there was like
you already saw the movie.
What? No. It was just what is happening because somebody's like over here and they jump off a wall, and then like they're just somewhere else, and there's a motorcycle in the air getting blown up, and it's just nothing means anything. Like there's no connection to like reality at all. It's insane. Like it's literally a movie made by a psychopath. I mean, like I've seen like some messed up things in film, but like watching that, like what is even happening?
Go home.
Yeah.
You're the king. You used to be the king of hot takes. I need a hot take from you.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about this take for like a couple days now, and I don't even think this is necessarily that hot of a take, but we'll see how the room reacts. I think that with the modern MCU, where we are at Marvel movies now, I don't think that the movies have necessarily gone worse in quality. I think that we, as the audience, are tired of the connective like through line and sameness of these movies when there's not a propelled narrative like the first 19. like up to Endgame, even if like, hey, we're doing this thing with Captain America over here on Winter Soldier, and it looks and feels identical to whatever Avengers Age of Ultron is over here, and these movies look and feel the same, there's still a driving narrative between each story that eventually I'm going to see a big fucking purple alien with a gauntlet punch some guys. And with the new ones, they have never established a solid through narrative yet. We know that Doctor Doom's the villain because they named it Doomsday, and they tell us he's going to be the bad guy. There's not like that like through line within the universe building it. And I think that's why we're annoyed with Marvel movies, is I don't think the movies look worse or are plotted necessarily worse. I just think the movies on the whole don't have the same connective vision, and that's why we're tired of them.
So I think you're right. I think well, here's my take on the Marvel movies. I think everybody's expectations are just at a level now that anything less than the 19 that we got original, that they're held to a higher standard now overall. So like, I'm sorry, Thor: The Dark World, Iron Man 2, like movies that came out before were also shitholes. Like they're allowed to make a bad movie. Like things happen as long as and I think it's important. I think circumstances on the outside world and like their demand to launch a streaming service, launch their plans in multiple directions, and had to do TV and had to do this, and we want the connective tissues all around. I think TV killed the MCU, if you want my honest opinion. I think they just spent too much trying to sell an app that we're at the spot we're at now. But like Fantastic Four came out. If you haven't seen it, get the fuck out. But my thing is like the movie I think is really good. Do I think it's like moved cinema in a direction? No, but it was nice to do an element of a characters that treated like a family and just had a solo movie that will have implications down the line, but nothing was pressing at this moment in time in this movie that needed XYZ to happen for this movie to happen. And I think that was smart and refreshing.
It didn't feel like homework. It felt like you had a fresh introductory to the MCU. I agree. That's why I like First Steps. That's a good movie. It's different. Even if like in terms of the actual plot, it's very samey with the rest of the MCU in terms of like, oh, this has to happen in this MCU requires this box or whatever. It's an MCU movie. It's gonna do that. Like in terms of what I saw, at least I didn't feel like I've missed some of the Marvel shows. I have actively just been like, fuck it, I'm not watching Agatha all.
No, yeah.
But if I had to watch Ironheart to get Fantastic Four First Steps because fucking Anthony Ramos shows up with tattoos all over himself, I'd have been annoyed because I'd be like, why is Philip, Hamilton here with tattoos on his face? I'd have been confused. So that's the thing I like, is that the TV shows, for the most part, haven't, and then in some ways severely have affected the MCU in terms of plot. Like Loki will have huge implications when we get to Doomsday and already has affected through Deadpool, but like Deadpool did a good job of explaining to you what you're seeing without having to have watched Loki. Like the exposition is like 2 lines.
Besides Thor: Love and Thunder and fucking horrible, like, one, I beg you, MCU, stop trying to be funny. Like, stop trying to do comedies, because holy shit, you're like you're the popular kid, the chiseled athlete popular kid that also thinks he's the funniest human being in the room. You don't get to be both.
Yeah.
Leave that to the fat kids, okay? Like, we are the funny. Like, you don't get to have the six-pack and also make people laugh. You don't make sense. So stop trying to be funny. But the moment you lost me at the MCU, the moment I was like, I don't give an absolute fuck anymore, is when Robert Downey Jr. showed up on stage with a fucking mask on and said, you are the laziest fucking humans I've ever seen in my life. I don't care if you can make it make sense to me. It's lazy. It is ridiculous and dumb.
the face that could have shown up behind that mask, where it's like, okay, it's a lazy fan cast, but it's because it's the right fan cast, is if they took the mask off and Cillian Murphy's standing on stage, I'd have been like, yeah, fucking great. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Any that's Doom.
Anything even better.
It's crazy that they, after making $100 billion, how insecure they are.
Yeah.
And how risk averse they are to be like, you know what, maybe, you know what, nobody bought when in 2008 when Iron Man came out, no one was like, oh, it's Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. This is so amazing. Everybody's like, that guy? And he made it work, and they built off that. And they're not willing to do that anymore. Now it's just whatever is the absolute safest bet. And that's I've had one foot out of the MCU for a while now. And besides the TV shows, the thing that's killed it for me is the multiverse. Because nothing matters. Because, why do I care about version 100,085 of infinite versions of this character that you can just bring back as soon as they're gone? Yeah. And the fact that, again, think about this. After I Am Iron Man and the Snap and all that, what that did, we are going to have 0 Avengers movies without Robert Downey Jr. in them. They could not go one movie without bringing him back. And it just good.
What bothers me most is that the MCU has taken a couple risks. I think Thunderbolts and Eternals are risks, and both unequivocally failed. And that bothers me because while Eternals sucks, Eternals is a bad movie. Thunderbolts was a good movie. That was different. That was kind of interesting because the whole thing is the biggest action set piece they have is a truck flipping and then talking to someone while they're having a panic attack. It was that's unique for the MCU and refreshing. But what I hate is exactly what you said, is that those didn't do well. And so what they're going to learn is we need to do Deadpool 4 and we're going to go back to Black Panther with Ryan Coogler because they liked Sinners, right? So we'll get him to make another Black Panther. Those are the things that people unanimously like whenever we make them, right? They just grab the things that work and run with it, and it's annoying because it's
my thing is
that came through the MCU now that I care about. It's not the people that I already saw; it's the people that I've already met.
When we had interesting was where they were able to television, they were able to do one. MCU should be commended because overall they did something that's very hard, what never was done before. It was tell a through line through 19 movies and make it all make you still interested in 1819. That's still well impressive. We could have all been like, what the fuck, I'm out. But the fact that they were able to do that. But my thing is, Doom has never been done on screen properly. Rest in peace. I know the guy who just passed, but rest in peace. We have never done it with justice. And he is the equal to I remember seeing, I don't remember the Avenger. I don't remember the movie. It might have been the event. Whatever. He turns around, his face just Thanos' face is shown for the first time.
Yeah.
And then he grabs the gauntlet and says, "I'll do it myself." Those are just moments. You could have Doom with just lightning sitting at a table, and you don't need anything more.
Yeah.
You don't need a thing. And then the next thing, you see the mask. You see the mask, and you're like, holy fuck, we're getting to it. We're getting to Doom. That's what you do. But now we're in this world that everything has to come out before a movie comes out, or 7 steps prior, that I have to see Robert Downey Jr. take off the mask, and it's Doom, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, you couldn't have missed a bigger fucking runway if you finally got your golden ticket. You got the Fantastic Four. You got the X-Men. You can literally ride those for the next couple of years and not even touch a Marvel movie right now. You had abilities. And what do? Just piss down your leg. And that's what's because there used to be events. I used to plan to go see an MCU movie. I made sure I was there because I didn't want to be spoiled. I didn't want anything. The last couple, this is the Fantastic Four was the first one I saw in theaters right away. The rest I've just been I'll catch it when I catch it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem that I have with the MCU, and it's not the individual movies, it's the fact that you guys have all brought it up. We had 19 movies that came to a conclusion. A great conclusion, and then they just and they wrapped a bunch of stories up, wrapped up a bunch of characters, and then went, okay, let's start over now. And they started with the Kang storyline. That's the reason fucking Doom wasn't there. They were gonna do Kang first, and then that shit got lit on fire, and they went, we can't fucking do that now. So they had to course correct, and it fucked them because now there's not a through line to these stories like there was, and it's now become hard to try to fucking figure out what the through line is.
Mike, you're forgetting one major thing, and that is Kevin Feige just recently said, even before the Jonathan Majors stuff happened, they were already planning to do Doctor.
He says that now, but I don't.
Also, like,
That's what I'm saying too. I agree.
It's also probably. It's also probably not a good sign that Kang's first movie is him getting throttled by Ant-Man.
Yes, that was the other issue. Was that the one fucking movie he got his ass kicked.
The Falcon.
Oh my god! What if we just put Thanos out there to get the shit kicked out of him by Black Widow? Like,
yeah, it's like you said, one of them.
This is your big bad. Awesome! Can't wait to watch him put a glove on.
The other thing that annoys me about it is, yeah, right, like Mike said, they reset. And when you do reset, you're supposed to introduce me to new characters and then maybe legacy in the people that I know from before as supporting and keep building the narrative. But the problem is they haven't built anything. They haven't even with Kang, they didn't build a narrative. Loki built a narrative through 2 seasons about him, and then he was the bad guy in Ant-Man, and they didn't do anything outside of it around that. And then on top of it, they keep doing this thing where they introduce threads. Characters in post credits or this element here and that element here, and they haven't picked up on a single one yet. Like the only thing they've introduced is the TVA, and then that's in Deadpool, and that's obviously going to be in this. And then the only other thing they've introduced is Falcon becoming Captain America in a show, and then he's Captain America in a movie where they do the exact same emotional arc for him in the movie that they did over 6 episodes on TV because no one watched the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. So that's the only things they've done.
So, last topic of the night, because I'm going to wrap it too. But anybody have one more hot take that they want to get off their chest and rant about?
Co-host Mike, do we want to see a Cody versus Kirk rant right now?
Oh my god, yes. That's how we need to end the night. Let's go.
Cody, what is your thoughts on the pitch clock in Major League Baseball?
No, then that's not what we're doing. We've already done
too long.
Best thing that's been done in baseball. It's not a big deal.
Ruin the game.
I actually have a
the
baseball
Yankees
question.
just get walked off.
Real quick, I don't have investment in baseball. I don't really care about baseball. But there was a thing what they did during the All-Star game was this thing that I saw. Instead of extra innings, it was like I don't remember what they called it. It was like a pitch off.
Home run derby.
Yeah. Okay. Would that be a better replacement for extra innings in actual baseball? I feel like that was. I feel like it was more entertaining.
Go play in traffic. Go play in traffic right now. Holy! You want to take the game of baseball away from people, regardless what you think, pitch clock, whatever. A batter versus a pitcher matters. If we're just putting up meatball pitches to see where they go into the stands, I'm out.
I'm not.
That's not.
I'm not saying that.
I would never take a loss.
I'm saying like trot out your best pitcher versus your best hitter, and you get one possession.
Injuries, bullshit.
But the thing is, your first pitcher, your best pitcher, he just pitched 6 innings and he's done. And he can't come back.
Yeah, his arms kicked, or it's not his day to pitch, and you cause injuries and blah blah blah. We already have pitching injuries. So let's talk about why does Spielberg decide not to have an editor on his films?
Michael Kahn is one of the greatest editors
Why
of all
are they
time.
all so bloated?
Film Coven
Why are
just
they
did one
so
on
bloated?
Jaws. Go watch that if you want to talk about editing.
He's
Why
a
are,
editor.
why are all his films so bloated?
Holy shit! No, you just have the attention span of a goldfish. That's your problem.
Star.
No, I'll ask. I'll play devil's advocate. Cody, give me a example of bloat in Spielberg.
Stop. Color Purple. Always.
I don't think Color Always is a little. Hook. You know what?
Hook.
So there's bloat in some of his worst films, is what you're saying.
Whoa. Hook's fucking
Those
great.
all of them, yeah. I would agree with them.
Schindler's List.
You don't even believe that one.
Damn it.
You don't believe that one.
They could have got through the
You-
Holocaust a little faster.
Do you
Oh
think
my
West
God.
Side Story or The Fablemans are bloated?
Oh, Fablemans. Good.
Fablemans
Good
is
choice.
out of that.
Thank you. You guys just love that film. What is it with you people in this community? That's something I need to end with. You people in this people in this community, when they watch a camera being rolled on set in a movie, like they're making of a movie, you guys, the cleanup that needs to be in your guys' theaters is on a massive level because you guys lose your ever loving mind when, oh my God, did you see that person? They made the movie. Like Saturday Night Live is a perfect example. Did you see the making? They were making Saturday Night Live and we got to watch characters play those like it's fine, but why are we blowing these movies because they're just made of things that you know about?
To defend the
So-
Fablemans specifically, the reason why we like the Fablemans specifically is because of the emotional journey that Steven Spielberg is putting on screen of his personal life and the things that he's hinted at through his movies and his interviews. It's a cathartic story that's really personal to him.
I will give you the Fablemans because that's a movie I don't dislike. But I'm talking about other movies. Like why?
What? Give me one besides Saturday Night because I don't have that deep an attachment to Saturday.
Just anything of real life. Air was one that you guys blew out. Saturday Night Live, La La Land because of old homage to old Hollywood. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like anything of old Hollywood, just like Babylon, losing our minds.
Cody, don't cry in front of the Mexicans, okay?
Exactly. Great joke.
Okay. The question is, why do we just like certain movies about real life things? Because Air
Why
is
do
not
you guys?
a Hollywood movie. Why are we bringing up Air into this?
Have you seen people?
Okay.
Yeah,
No, I think
I'm
Cody's
not
asking
saying-
like
I'm not
you're
saying the group.
The
I'm not
reason
saying
I
the
like
group. I'm saying
Air-
there are people.
The reason I like Air is because I love to see the people in that situation having to come up. Like, this is an underdog story of people trying to make a pitch to like someone that we know is going to be the great in a situation that they wouldn't win. I like seeing those people in an underdog situation.
But we know he says yes. What are we talking about? Why
It's
doesn't
not
need to be a
about
movie?
the outcome. It's not about the outcome. It's about the journey of how they made it happen. That's what's interesting. I know he says yes. That's not the tension. The movie doesn't pretend that's the tension. The whole
But
movie
the tension
is on
a thing that, like Saturday Night Live. Oh, are they going to go to air?
climax of those
They went to
movies.
air. Just let you
Okay.
know.
Titanic, does the ship
So the
sink?
tension,
Oh,
so the
fucking thing.
tension is taken out of it.
No, you're watching it for the wrong reason. Then the tension is not even purported by
Oh.
the movie to be will this happen. The tension of the movie is how this happens. What do they have to go through to get to this thing that I know
Well, he
exists?
gets a percentage cut.
God.
No,
No,
it's about sneaker.
making
What are you
it's about
talking
seeing
about?
him- it's about seeing him craft the argument for making the shoe. It's about seeing all the hoops that fucking Lorne Michaels had to go through to get the show on the air. That's the interesting story there. The tension is not will it go to air. It's about the things he has to go through to get to the air. That's what the movie's about. So if you walk into air and you're like, oh my god,
Are you talking
I wonder,
about air? Or are you
I
talking
wonder
about
if
two
Air Jordan becomes a
in Saturday
shoe.
Night?
If you're
Wait,
like, oh
are
my
you
God,
talking
I
about
wonder if
two
Saturday Night
air?
Live Air.
Are you
Like,
talking? Are you talking about two air being air the movie or two air Saturday Night
Holy
Live?
fuck.
Air 2.
And I'm the troll. I'm the one who's trying to rage bait. That's what I do. I'm the troll on the call, guys.
I know. I was being. We're talking about two movies that got confusing. I just wanted it on record.
On the record, I'm saying the tension of the movies is not whether Saturday Night Live is going to go on the air for 50 years and be a major hit, or that Michael Jordan's going to get his shoe with Nike. That's not the tension of the movies. The whole tension of the movies is seeing how they formulate the pitch and how they
But there's
get him
no tension.
and how it's not the resolution isn't. Oh my god, I'm not doing this again with you. You're riling me up for no reason.
No, I'm being 100% transparent. Like,
No, you're not.
The whole struggle of Saturday Night Live was, can they get to air? And here's all these cast of characters
How do they
imitating
get
other
there?
actors. They fucking get there because we know they get there.
Okay, that's
So
not the reason you watch the movie.
linchpin to climax is when, like, the main thing is when, we made it. We knew
No,
that.
that's the catharsis. The catharsis of the movie is they got there. The actual emotional and story climax of that movie is when J.K. Simmons stands there and looks at them all and says, "Why should I put you on the air?" And then they all do the act after a whole fucking 80 minutes of none of them being able to get this one thing right. Or this actor's not getting paid as much as this actor. Or this person's not getting this. Or they're not building this set. And all of it's going wrong. The reason why that movie comes together in the climax of the end is the actual moment where all of them put ego aside, come together, and show them that it's worth something to put on. That's what the climax of that movie is and the catharsis of that
So
movie.
why
is.
do
It's
you
not
get?
about
Why does it get a
hair.
bump? Why does it get a bump for you over other movies?
Because I liked watching it. What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about when they're filming about Hollywood or making of productions of something. Why does that get a boost in your eyes?
It doesn't. I fully.
Just
It's
like
not
when
about.
just like when black and white films added Technicolor,
Oh, God.
and it raises
Good
by
night,
a full
everybody.
star
What a great
rating.
show. Great first episode.
Thanks
for watching.
Rating. I know inherently if it's in color, I'm gonna enjoy it more. So why, when you see a camera on set rolling, that you just do the same thing?
No, that the point is, it's not that. You assign that to all of us because the movie that has a movie about movies in it, we give 5 stars. It's not about the movie with the movie and the cameras being the thing. It's the story within that movie that they're trying to tell that happens to be
Listen,
about film. And at
you
the end of the day,
once
Cody,
text me.
Cody, do you like movies? Cody, do you like movies? Do you enjoy watching
No.
movies?
Fuck.
Okay. Okay, then you don't fucking like movies about movies because it's about the making of something you don't like. If they made
but
a
here's my
movie,
question.
if they made a
Here's my
movie
question.
tomorrow that was like, here's how we build.
Here's my question. Listen, I was trying to get this point. I couldn't get it across, but here's my point. This is if I said I hate steak, or like it doesn't matter if steak's on the menu, I'll still like the restaurant. But all I order is fucking steak, and every time I rave and write about the steak, there is something that I can look at factually that shows, fuck, this guy overrates steaks. So if I look at your letterbox and you've given 5 stars to a lot of films about making of movies, my comparison is there may be something linked to that idea of it, because you once texted me after 30 minutes left in Heat and you gave it 4 stars, and then your response was, does it change a lot in the last 30 minutes? So my thought process on that is if Robert De Niro showed up on just was filming the heist, I think you're automatically giving it 5 stars.
That's one, not true. One, not true because it makes no sense to the plot.
What's not
But
true?
Two.
What's
no,
not
if Robert
true?
De Niro showed up and filmed Heat in the middle of Heat, that wouldn't give
I
it
was
5
wondering
stars.
if you were going to tell me the other thing didn't happen.
No, I'm saying your shot about Robert De Niro filming Heat at the end makes no sense because I'd probably knock it down and start because it makes no sense.
Oh,
Have a camera on top of the fucking
How
machine.
long are we gonna let Coco talk about this? Can we?
Pace and go. Just do the thing.
Okay. Cody, is your issue with? Are we discussing? I just want to make sure. Are we discussing movies about making movies or movies where you know the result going into the end, aka biopics or historical movies?
I think they're like twofold, because I think similar. If it's in media, it gets a boost for certain people, and then if it's anything Hold Hollywood related, oh god, like you gotta tone them down with a fire hydrant.
So I'm gonna tackle the biopic thing first. My favorite biopic of all time is my 3rd favorite movie of all time. It's one of your favorites, Goodfellas. I don't go into Goodfellas knowing, well, I know Henry Hill is going to rat out his friends in the end because I know Henry Hill is the guy who fucking ratted out his friends.
Whoa.
I can still enjoy the movie. Yeah.
Pause. We're not sitting here. We're not going to sit here and play dumb that you think Henry Hill is on the level of Michael Jordan sneakers and fucking Saturday Night Live being a thing.
I'm not sure about you, but I knew who Henry Hill was before I watched Goodfellas, and I knew, hey, isn't it that guy that fucking ratted out his friends and avoided going to jail when he probably should have? And when I watch Goodfellas, I'm not thinking, man, this is really fucking stupid. I know we're gonna get to the end. The movie's great. It's about the fucking. It's about the history of the mafia. Okay, so that's that. In terms of movies about movies, it's just a subgenre that I think a lot of us like. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me throw this back to you. About sports movies.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like sports movies get a bump with you because you like sports.
Or Christmas movies
No.
for you.
I'm more critical in sports movies.
Christmas movies definitely get a bump for you, and you have said before
Fact.
that. Yeah,
Facts.
that is the thing. There's that how you view Christmas movies. A lot of us, I guess, in your eyes, can view movies about movies.
And
but the ones that the joyous point of the whole life. You're like, old Hollywood was full of creeps and weirdos and horrible people. So what are we doing?
But here's the other thing too, Cody. I would say this: if you look at who are people? We all like movies. We all like the story of Hollywood. Who also likes that? A lot of really great filmmakers are interested in that. A lot of really great filmmakers are interested in the idea of filmmaking, the history of filmmaking, things like that. So a lot of great filmmakers are making those kind of movies. So I don't think it's like, oh, we love this subject matter. It just happens to be this is something that a lot of people who are really good at making movies like to make movies about. So we're going to get a lot of good movies about that subject.
You know what? It's a fair point.
Great.
I'm balanced. That's a beautiful ending to a beautiful show. I want to thank everybody who showed up. I think this was a lot of fun. I want to do this more often. Probably once a month is what I'm planning on doing right now. So think over the last month of your next hot takes or anything you've heard me say. You can come and grill me on. No, he's back. So I want to thank everybody that showed up. Rue, Barr, Spence, Diaz, Kirk, Payson, Mike, and Coho. Did I forget anyone? I think that's it. But yeah, I appreciate you all for being on. And yeah, we'll be back again. Check out tomorrow, I believe, a 7-hour and 30-minute movie is being talked about on Sight and Sound. Another movie, Sight and Sound needs to be investigated because they're just full of shit.
We do investigate in this episode. We do ask a lot of questions.
We go hard on
no one sits there and just says, you know what, let me tune in this shit. You guys had to break the shit up. Like, let's be real. What are we doing here? Crazy. That's a work shift.
I did not.
That's a work shift. That's crazy. But
put the work in.
Checking that tomorrow. Also, we're gonna have 2 melee matches. The next day, we're gonna have another 2 melee matches, and then on Thursday, just this week, they'll move to Wednesday following week. But Blockbuster Brawl first match will be on there. I hinted to that.
YLS is tomorrow, right?
YLS is also tomorrow. Yes, where we are breaking down the top 10 of everybody's list. And then we'll do the combined list on the show. So that's great. And I've talked about this. I want to bring back drafts, film drafts. So I'm going to come up with some topics. Let's have some debate. It might be that fantasy football is really close, and that's what I want to talk about. But I want to just argue with people about picking things and draft strategy. So if you have a topic that you think is fun to draft, let me know, and we will do it. But I want to thank everybody for being on. We will catch you. Oh, and next Monday. Guess that movie? Is that next Monday? Or are you doing
So
2
I
weeks?
might have to move it for 2 weeks because since it's my last month of night shifts, they're fucking with me on my schedule. But it will be coming. It's not over. It's still
I need it in August because the lights, we need to pay the bills. So I appreciate if you do at least a show in August so we can keep everything rolling. So we will catch you next week. Bye-bye. Maybe. It doesn't want to end. Can somebody end it for me?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.